And I'm providing an update on the Meridian Fire. With the use of resources, we do have our estimate currently at 3,000 acres for the fire. We currently have 100 firefighters from 26 different agencies on scene. Many of those from even out of the county, as far away as Pueblo and Elbert County, have come down to assist us. So we greatly appreciate their help in helping us fight this fire. Currently, the evacuations are still in place. I know the wind has shifted greatly behind us to where it's not going so much north. At this point, we don't have to modify the evacuation zone, even though the fire is more active on the southern side. It is still within those evacuation zones, and at this point, we don't look at it, anticipate enlarging that at this time. That could change due to the wind, and we're keeping and monitoring the weather. At this time, we do confirm there are 3 outbuildings, and I'm going to preface they were outbuildings and not houses that were destroyed during the fire. There are no injuries reported to us at this time. At this time in the fire, we are switching to, we're still working the fire. It is still 0% containment. Due to the wind and the weather and the way that things are going, we're not comfortable saying that we have it contained until we get to that point. We are also bringing in our investigations team to determine the cause and origin of the fire. For the last while, we've been working on containing it and getting it under control and protecting structures. So we are bringing those resources in to do that investigation to get those answers for you. The other part I want to bring up, if you have any need for a shelter, the Red Cross has set up an evacuation shelter at the Patriot High School on Swing Line Road in Falcon, Colorado. And for animal sanctuary, the El Paso County Fairgrounds in Calhan is available to take in animals at this time. Is there any other further information I could try to answer?
You said 3,000 acres, earlier was 4,000 today. They fly above, that's why we have more accurate acreage?
Yes, sir. Currently, we do have air resources in the air that are mapping. That information we're providing earlier was based upon the reports where we're getting kind of an estimation. The fire moved in different areas in different directions. The mapping services that we were using via the airplane came in that time frame and gave us that more accurate of around 3,000 acres at this time.
Did the Type 1 helicopter fly at all? Has it done any water drops? Is it even here?
It was here earlier. Due to some resource limitations, it was taken away. That has not affected the ability to fight this fire or caused any issues. We do know at one point the fire did cross Curtis Road, but that has since been stopped and it's not spreading across Curtis Road anymore. And it did not cross 94. So we're not worried about the fire going in those directions. We know the fire is more active on the southern end of the fire. We do have resources down there. We have deputies down there monitoring the traffic control points and looking if they need to do further evacuations. We have plenty of fire resources down there working on that fire to keep it contained to where it is now.
Would shifting wind been the issue? That you had to have resources south and you had to move them north, and then did you have to move them back? Can you kind of speak to that?
Obviously, this was a very fast-moving fire that started further south and moved pretty quickly. So getting the amount of resources we've had to kind of try to trap it in those road areas has been beneficial, but with how fast the winds have moved, how they've changed, obviously you guys have noticed the change in the smoke has gone from away from the city to the city. It's been very difficult to navigate and get people in the right position, but our fire people, especially the guys with Cimarron Hills Fire, have done a great job leading the fire in the effort to get this fire under control.
It's also unusual to go, we have mutual aid within the county, but to go outside, does that also speak to the size of the fire, and whoever was the commander on this, did they say this is going so fast, let's go outside the county quickly as well?
Obviously, they reacted quickly as far as how fast the fire was expanding to get resources, especially when CSFD left earlier. They gave us a lot of help. We were able to supplement those resources with other agencies from outside the county and get the resources we needed. There are still, I believe it's over 350 houses in this area that's in the evacuation zone that we've gone to and talked to and put out the information to, and several of those houses were threatened. At this time, we're happy to report no houses, just some outbuildings.
Do you know if it started in city limits or outside of city limits? You said you had investigators.
Currently, we're going to let the investigators that do the fire investigation determine where it started and start looking into how it started. There's a lot of science that goes into that, so I can't just throw out an idea of where it started, because with the winds, that usually does change the origin of the fire.
Is Tree Force Base at any sort of did just release a statement and say that they're not planning on evacuating.
No, the last information I had is that they are not planning on evacuating. They've assisted us in this and worked with us as far as making sure people that are leaving are going outside the evacuation zone. As far as they're operating, I don't know that anything has changed, and they have not been affected at this point.
Any word on when Highway 94 might reopen?
That'll be a decision that's up to our incident command. They're monitoring the situation to determine what points and how we can move along the roadways, opening up roadways, moving in the evacuation zones. At this point, like I said earlier, just with the changing winds, we're not comfortable making that decision, but that'll come from our incident commander.
Has the terrain made it difficult at all for crews to attend to these fires?
I think the terrain always is an issue. I mean, this is a very rural part of the county. It's a lot of acreage where the houses are and where the land is, so it's a lot of bumpy road. But we have a lot of good equipment that's designed to do wildfires and to do the suppression efforts out here. So we've had the appropriate resources to get out here and help.
I've seen a lot of different agencies out here. Can you talk to who all is out here assisting you guys?
So there's 26 agencies, which is a lot to go through, and I can't memorize all of those agencies. I know Cimarron Hills Fire Department is the lead in running the operation. Ellicott Fire's out here, Payton Fire's out here, CSFD I believe still has some individuals out here. Schriever Air Force Base has been out here assisting. The El Paso County Wildland Fire Unit's out here assisting. We brought in resources from Pueblo and Elbert and across this region. Anybody that's willing to help at this time.
Sounds like you have it pretty much boxed in though, right? South of Highway 94, you said Curtis is kind of the eastern edge.
We hope that we do. Obviously, with the winds and the changing, we do have concern that it could pick back up, but we're hoping that what we have right now maintains and that the scene behind me maintains.